Let's do this. I don't know exactly how to say this. Ah, but I'm just gonna come out and say it. I'm not where I want to be in my business and also in my life. It feels terrifying, but also liberating to admit. It feels like I've been circling around this loop. It feels like something I haven't wanted to admit because I've been 5 to 6 years in this thing, into building a business, and to admit that I'm not where I want to be feels like I'm a failure, to be honest. I know that's not true, and I'm not looking for, sympathy. I'm not looking for support or help. I got my own stuff on the side, but this is an important moment for me to come out and be honest. This is a big thing for me for 2025: authenticity, speaking my truth, radical honesty. So I have some notes here, but I'm going to do my best just to speak from my heart. Um, so yeah, like I said, I'm not where I want to be. But for the first time in my life, I can say that I'm okay with that, um, which is a weird thing to say. Uh, like I'm not where I want to be, and that's okay. And why it feels okay to me is because I'm owning it, is because I'm accepting it, and I'm loving myself through it. I'm not really guilting or shaming myself. I did do that, but now I'm coming around the other side of this. And this is me coming into self acceptance and owning my truth, and letting go of that shame, blame, and the guilt, and taking responsibility in love, not punishing myself, not shaming myself into that responsibility. But I know that that extreme ownership is how I transform my life. That's what's liberating, and that's what's already happened behind the scenes. And now it's me coming on camera to express this to you, because to me, that's such a big thing. I know not everyone is going to want to do this, come share their life to the internet, to the world, to YouTube, to podcast listeners. But I know that's what feels right to me. It feels scary, but I know that's my truth. And so I got to follow that. And this was inspired by one of my clients. Shout out Jimmy. And he recently quit his job and is going all in on his dream. And he has such this sense of, excitement and freedom, of like this feeling of limitlessness. And I remember this feeling, and I was inspired, a little bit jealous, ultimately inspired. And that's really what jealousy is anyway. But it's like, I rem and because like what we were talking about in the session is that, he is feeling like not enough, or like an imposter, or lacking expertise. And the symptom was, a fear of not providing breakthroughs for his clients, or just feeling like an imposter, or a lack of an expert on social media. And one of the things that I advised him to do was, well, take them on the journey with you, like literally, like share your experience of building a business and quitting your job. Do a vlog, like share your truth from your heart with them, because people want to be on the journey. That's what I enjoy watching. And so that was a great reflection back to me of like, oh, I've lost touch with that feeling, and it's been slow and subtle, but feeling disconnected from, and a lack of excitement from the content that I'm sharing. And because there's a lack of an edge, I feel like I've been just repeating this formula. And it's felt strange because before, people have praised me for my vulnerability, but deep down, I knew there was truths that I wasn't owning, or that I wasn't fully expressing yet. And so it felt like there was this disconnection between how people saw me and how I see myself. And I know, because that's, I work with clients like this every single day too. But it was a strange feeling of like, well, I appreciate that, and I'm doing my best to be vulnerable. And I know that's one of my life lessons, is to express in this way, to own it for me, and to also lead by example for you, the listener or viewer. so you can do it for yourself too. But ultimately, I got to do it for me, um, and for my family, and then for the community and for the world. Um, but watching Jimmy, my client, go through this inspired me of like, I remember that's how I did it when I quit my job 5 or 6 years ago. I remember like that was such a big point for me, is like, I want to document the journey from the beginning. That's an important thing for me because I noticed that was missing of, in these experts or people, these successful people. There, you couldn't really see behind the scenes. All you really saw was the wins and the successes. Um, and that's changed, but also it's kind of remained the same. And so this is me in this moment coming full circle 5 or 6 years later and wanting to do that again for myself, to create for like the sake of creativity, to challenge myself, to push my edge, to grow, to feel that challenge, and to do the things that scare me, because that's really what I'm all about. I want to take you on the journey with me. So part of that is admitting, look, I felt stuck for the last while. I've Man, 2024 was a wild year of of death and of letting go, especially, I mean, in a lot of areas. But it's for those who've been around for a while, and even if you're new and you're watching this, I used to be known as the fear guy. So my whole focus was focusing on fears, um, and like showing you that you can overcome them. To like, fear is a compass. To follow the fear, and um, it was that was such an important part of my journey. But I started to feel like, oh, that wasn't me anymore. And so letting go of that identity, of course, that's still part of me. I'm taking that experience with me, but it was scary. And I don't fully know what that looks like. And I think that's me even just owning that in this moment, of me just showing up raw with you in, yeah, in this moment, and saying like, look, I'm not fully sure of what I'm committing to, but I'm committed to the process. I don't know the end result. Um, and but this is just what's real, I guess, even though this is a recording. um, and this is like, I'm trying to transmit something to you, in like 15 or 20 minutes. But at the same time, I want you to see the raw truth of building a business, especially when it's a heart-centered, conscious, soulful business, or from an intention of making an impact with the world. I feel like it's slightly different. Entrepreneurship is a wild game. It's a personal and spiritual development journey disguised as a money-making opportunity. That's really what it is. And it's taking me on this wild journey of discovering myself and learning who I am, what I'm made of. And it's just a wild freaking journey. And so in 2025, I'm committed a, a new commitment to truth, to sharing behind the scenes, to sharing the process of what this looks like, even when I don't have the answers. And that's for me, uh, that's the thing, is admitting that I don't have the answer, because I want to have the answer. I mean, my programming, my personality, both and, you know, want wants to save people. It wants to help people. And that's been one of the scariest things this year, of like, I've really discovered of how much I was showing up in the world because I was looking to fulfill that desire and that need of feeling significant, of wanting to be loved. And so letting go of that has been scary. It's felt like a death in a way. It's felt unpredictable to rediscover like my why, and to do it for love, and not just to earn, praise and validation and approval and love and acceptance. Um, all that stuff can come with it, but really doing it for me, and doing it for a higher purpose, a deeper sense of meaning for myself, because I want to, not because I have to or because I need to. So, where does that leave us? Going into 2025, my one of my themes this year is becoming an authority. And in order for me to become an authority, I know I have to speak my truth, to be authentic. And like I mentioned earlier, I have been authentic, but it's being really honest with myself, and then whatever I decide is appropriate to share with you and take you on that journey. Um, so please let me know in the comments, send me a message on Instagram of what do you want to see? What do you want to know behind building a business as a coach, as a thought leader, as a speaker, as a writer, as a father? And I would love to know how this serves you too. And I want to leave you with part of my juice coming in this episode was the scene in 8 Mile, and 8 Mile is a movie with Eminem. And in the last scene of the movie, he's in this rap battle, and his opponent, Eminem in the movie has this background. He grew up in the trailer with his mom, and so this rapper is going to use all of these quote unquote negative things against him to win the battle. But what Eminem does first, he goes first in the battle and he uses everything that the opponent is going to use. He does that. He just owns it. And I think this is what I'm attempting to do in this moment. And I am trying to lead by example. And I hope no matter where you're at in your journey, of you just starting your business, you're just starting your journey, or you're years into it, and you've hit a cycle of now reinventing yourself to transform yourself again, that this is what we're being invited to do, to own those parts of us that feel disconnected, that feel scary, that feel shameful. Because when we own that fully, right, like we spit it on the microphone, what I'm doing, or you in a journal, or to a therapist, or to your spouse, to yourself, whatever that looks like in your own writing, that's like the fear of it is gone because you've owned it, right? You've accepted it. And so that's my intention for this year. And I know I've been honestly blending in and had a fear of standing out. And so this is me coming out. Let's go. Let's do this. Depending on when you're watching or listening to this, on January 14th of 2025 I'm doing an unfiltered challenge. That's a 14-day social media challenge. And I would love to have as many people in this. It's only $20. And primarily this is, I'm doing this for me. I like this, right? I want to show up unfiltered. I want to show up speaking this truth, sharing the things that have been too scared to share, or that I haven't known how to express or articulate, and really go there and challenge myself. So if you're in that same place, or you're looking for more support, a community, to learn how to show up on social media more consistently and authentically, then the challenge is for you. So go check out the description to sign up. Again, it's only $20. We start on January 14th. And whether you're watching this before or after then, subscribe to the newsletter that I send out every single week, because I'd love to have you if you're interested in the inner work and the inner game of entrepreneurship, and not just the marketing tactics, not just like here's how you do it, but you already know what to do. You have the tools, you have the experience, but it's an inner game, and you want to do that healing work, because that's where the difference is. It's 80% mindset, it's 80% psychology, and then 20% of it is the tactics, the strategy. But the 80%, you got to get that down first and foremost. So thank you all for watching, for listening. I love you. Thank you for being here. And 2025, here we go.